I'll start by going to our quick start guide from our support page. And this is at Zello.com. And what I'm going to be following is this quick start guide. So I'll search for it here. And this is so you know how to find it if you ever need to go back to it. Oops. So I click search, and it's the first one that pops up, and it's going to go over most of the basic steps of setting up an account. So I'll be following that mostly, sharing some insight on how to do a couple of things in your Zello account. So like it says, I'm going to create a Zello account by first going to zello.com/work website. And here we are on the Zello Work. You can also just go to zello.com and then you'll see the tab here. You can always go to get Zello Work at any time. Before we start our network, here's a way to get to support. Again, our price list, so you can view the prices once you are ready to add more than 5 users. Our data sheet has some specifications about Zello, some case studies, a little bit on radio gateways. Well, actually, most of the information on radio gateways, which I'll explain a little bit what they are, and then our partners page, which is basically information on how to be in the affiliate program. So I'm going to start setting up the network now by going to Get Zello at Work, this big button, and this page will take me to this here. And if you already have a Zello at Work account, then you can just type that in and go. But if you don't have it yet, then we're going to make up a name, and usually I'd recommend something that goes with your company, but for me I'll do Zello Tutorial. And it seems that I'll just have tutorial. And okay, so here is our Zello network name, and I'm going to put my name, my email address, and my phone number. And here are some features so you can learn more, but we're just going to create a private network now. So it worked, and they sent us an email where we'll have our name and password. If you don't see it in 5 minutes, it might be in spam folder, so make sure that you look in your spam if you haven't seen it. It's usually pretty quickly or spam. And then we're going to log into our admin console. And here's some information on the Zello clients once you need to download on the phones. So here is my email. And it seems that here is the Zello Work network we've created, tutorial.loudhouse.net. This is a name that you'll use to get on your console each time. So you have to go to this link here. So it's very important that you put this in your favorites or somewhere where you can go to it easily. And this is our admin name and our password. So you'll be able to use 5 users for free. And here's some information on the clients, but we'll go over that later too. So I'll exit from my email account. Okay, so here is our network, and these are some clients again, so if you have to download these on your phones, that's where you can do it. I'm going to enter my, oh, I forgot to save my password, so I'm going to open up my email address again, but I know the username is always admin, and that means because you're the administrator for your network, and so I'm just gonna have to look at my password to make sure. And once you get into your account, you can change your password, and I'll show you how to do that. If you don't want to have a complicated password that will give you, which is mostly for safety, so you have a unique password. But if you want to make up anything else, then it's definitely up to you. Okay, it's taking a little while. I'm going to exit out of this because I don't need it anymore, since we've already accessed our account. And like I said, this here is where you're going to always access your network, so always save that. Very important. And also your password, like I didn't do, so. But it's on your email, so you shouldn't have any problems accessing it back, as long as your email takes a little less long than mine to open up, I mean. Okay, so this is the password. I'm just going to copy, paste it. Oh, God. It's obviously not the password. Okay, that looks right. And I'm in my initial setup page. This is where we're going to choose a few things. And if you're just trying this out because you want to see what it's all about, then you can leave it at 5. And after 5, you'll pay a certain amount for each user. It starts at $10 per user, and once you go up to 20 or more, it goes down a little bit and has a different volume pricing. And you can find this in the Zello Work website that I started in. So I'm just going to choose monthly for now. And I'm going to be taken to my dashboard, which is where we'll be doing all of our managing from. And you'll be doing your managing from also. And we're just going to go over the basic things here. You can open this from your phone and directly download these clients that are going to be personalized for the use of this network only. So if you open this from your BlackBerry or your Android, then you can download these. iPhone has a bit of a special case, but there's like a question mark and you'll be able to click on it and see what it's like. But the rest of these are through here, and at the moment I'm the only user, so you wouldn't be able to actually use your network yet unless you added someone else, because I mean you can't talk to yourself. So at the moment we wouldn't download any of the clients yet, but when you're ready to do that, when you have more users, then you can do it from here. And then, like I said, you can change your password here. And I'll make it a different one. And make sure you remember this one, because this one isn't saved to your email address. Oops. I've changed it. And so it says here, this is you. And I'm going back to the dashboard. As you notice, when you first open up or enter your network, you're going to open the dashboard. And here you'll be able to add someone else, and you'll see more options once we have more people, or change your password. And you have other information here. But you have all these tabs here, and network is going to be where you're going to mostly be navigating your network, and this is where you're going to add users, channels, gateways, or change your settings. And here are the tabs for that: channels, gateways, settings. Your account is going to be where you're going to be able to add more users if you need more than 5, or even if you go up to 20 and then you need 50 or 100, you'll be able to do that here. And you can also add gateways here. Gateways count as 5 users, so if you add one gateway, you'll see that it's $100, and that's because for up to 10 users, it's $10 per user. So that's 5 and 5 more, it's 10. And if you do choose to do an annual plan, you save 20%. So this is really great. If you're ready to purchase, this many users, you can continue, and the next page will take you to your billing information. This page is also important for when your credit card information has changed. Let's pretend that you got a new credit card and you want to change it. You go into account. You don't change your network size if you don't need to, but if you do, you can. You continue if you want to change, and then you'll be able to look into your billing information and change it accordingly. So also, if you want to reduce the network size, if you delete the users from the page where you add or delete users, then it's not going to record that here. But if you go to your account and, okay, well now I don't want this gateway, I want 0. It's going to refund you for, if you did especially like annual, it's going to refund you for the months or days that you haven't used for this gateway that we just erased, and when you continue, it'll refund you into your card. So that's important to know. But I'm going to go back to your network, and now I'm going to actually be adding the users. So to add a user, you just press add new user. The username can be anything you want. The password, also anything you prefer. I'd make it simple. But hard enough so people don't hack your accounts, which we haven't really had that problem before, but just in case, that's why we have passwords, obviously. Your alias is what's actually going to be showing up in the contact list. So let's say you have 50 phones on your network, and these phones might change owners. If a person goes and a different person comes in for that one, we can make this person Steve, and the position is going to be manager. And you can change Steve at any time, but the username is always the same. You'd have to delete the user and actually create a new one to change that. And you can add an email, or not, it's not important. These are not really that important. You really just need the username and password, but Steve, or the alias, is what shows up in your contact list. If you don't put anything here, then the user name shows up. So I created a new user. If you create the new user, it goes automatically into everyone channel. This is going to be the channels, and that's so these people can speak to each other automatically through this everyone group channel. So if you want to change the user information, you can click on the user and you can change the name. Maybe I don't want this to be showing on my contact list. I want it to be different than like Susan. I can change it and update it. This is empty, which is the role. This is the director. So now I have a position, and that's going to be in parentheses in the contact list. This is access. Right now, this person has unrestricted access, which means they can start conversations. If you had changed it to limited, then they can't start conversations on their own. So I'm going to leave it unrestricted. Most people set it unrestricted, unless these are people that you're just kind of sending messages to, but you don't want to hear them talk back. And then this is however many channels they belong to. Right now, this person's in everyone, but we can take it off. Okay, so now there's no channel, but we can also assign it. It doesn't have a direct contact, although we can speak to people in the everyone channel, but we can also add a contact here. There's only one other, so Steve. And I can also remove it by doing this and change the password for the user. So that's how you do users. And now we have another way to add users, which is kind of relatively new, which is importing users from .csv file. And this is an Excel sheet basically, and you have to make sure it's saved as CSV though. And you have to make sure that you have at least a username and a password. And this is for big networks. If you have 100 users, it's a lot easier to enter them on an Excel sheet and then upload. Be advised that you can't, if you don't have channels already in your network, then it's not going to create any new channels. And this is for preventing, like maybe if you misspell one of them, you're creating a new channel. It's just a huge mess. So you can only really add people to channels here if it's already been created. And then when you're ready to upload, you just choose your file and upload it and submit it. So, and it'll tell you how many you can actually add there. And then you can also export, and this will export into a HTML file here, and that way you can copy and paste into an Excel sheet. And then you can, if you see you don't have a password here, and that's for privacy, but you can add the password tab and fill it out with a password for everybody. So that's users. And now we're going to be able to create some channels here. So I'm going into the channels tab, and there's this button to create the channel. And I'm just going to add a new channel. You can name it whatever you want. And this channel is going to appear here, and it has 0 users at the moment. But let's choose what kind of channel we want. Group channel is going to be a channel where everybody can speak to each other that is in this channel, but they also get the contacts on their contact list for whoever is in this channel. We also have a hidden group channel, and this is where if you add 20 people to this channel, they won't be able to speak amongst each other in that channel. It's not even going to appear in your channels, and that's why it's hidden. But they'll get all those contacts in their contact list. That's kind of an easy way to add direct contacts to users. So there's this other feature, which is the dynamic channel, and the dynamic channel is similar to group channel, where it's still going to appear in your channels, and you're still going to be able to talk to all these people, but you're not going to get all these contacts in your contact list. So we'll just make this a group channel. And to add users to the channel, you'll go back to your users tab, and I'm going to choose, well, I only have 2 users, so I'll just put both of them in the channel. And I'll select all the ones I want, and you can select to add to the new channel. And as you can see, the 2 users have been updated here, and let's go check it out. And our users are hopefully there. Yep, there's 2 users now. So that's channels. And to delete a channel, you can just select and delete. Do you want to? Want to? So there you go. And also users you can delete that way. So I'll delete this one. Like I said, Oh, oops, that's kind of bad because that's my admin, but I'll delete one of these users. And okay, so as I said before, because I deleted one person here doesn't mean that my account was automatically updated. I'd have to go into my account and actually decrease the capacity for my users. So if I had 20 and I deleted 19, or I had 50 and I deleted one, then I'd go back to 49. But if I wanted to have that also in my billing record, I'd go to account and make sure that's updated. And I'm refunded if I have to be. So, okay, and so let's go into gateways now. And gateways are a way to connect your two-way radios with your Zello account. And there's some information on that here. I won't go over it too specifically, but you can read this information and it'll talk about the hardware you need to connect the radios to your Zello account. And there's also a page on our Zello Work website that I said in the beginning was gateway. So if you click on it, you'll be able to get more information on that. But you can add it this way, and channels always have to be or gateways always have to be connected to a channel because they're not individual users, but they're just the network of radios that can speak to that channel you connected to. And as you can see, to add a new gateway, I need to view upgrade options, which means that I have to pay a little bit because we only get 5 free users, and a gateway is 5 users already. So it'll go up to at least 6 in order to use it, and then 6 will get you to the paying bracket, which will be $10 for each of the 6 users. So I'm going to cancel for now, but you need to do that. You know how now. And then finally, I'm going to go into my settings, which they're going to be where I can change some of my settings for the users on my network. And this is either desktop, Windows Mobile, BlackBerry, Android, and iOS. And what this does is that you can control the clients from your network, which is really great. And different mobile devices have different settings, but depending on the ones you are using, then you can go into that. And let's say we go into Android, and you can manipulate history or the repeat call alert signal, back buffer, all this stuff. And to understand the meaning of each of these, because it's a little long for me to go through right now, you can always go to a support page and just type it in, and it'll usually explain like the TCP way. You'll go to support and be like, what is that? And it'll explain it to you. So those are our settings. And finally, if you go to the help tab, it'll take you to support. So it's another way to say, oh, I don't know what this TCP is, help, and then you'll be taken to support, and you'll be able to type in your concern, and maybe someone can, maybe it's already posted. So, or you can submit a request. But let's see if I want to know how I can set a Bluetooth, what's a Bluetooth device that I can use with my Zello phone, and it'll search for that, how to set it up, and there's other things here too, that setting a Bluetooth PTT button for Android, or there's a lot of things here, so it's really one more thing that I would like to go over in this tutorial is how to download the Zello application on your devices, and this may depend on what device you are using. So thankfully we can still go to our quick start guide, which is what I showed you how to look up in the beginning, and that's from our support. And type in quick start and you'll be able to get to this document. And if we go all the way to the bottom, you'll see that it will mention all the stuff we went through, obviously, but also it has installing Zello client on other devices. And you'll see Android, BlackBerry, iPhone, Windows Mobile Client, and Windows Client. For Windows Client and even Windows Mobile Client, it's actually, pretty easy. For the Windows Client, you have this link, which you'll enter your network name here, .loudtalks.net, and then just put that on your browser and you'll get a setup file. Windows Mobile Client has something similar, but it does offer a little more information if you click on this link. And for the BlackBerry, you have to open up from the browser and you'll have more information down here on that. And there's the Android and the iPhone, and iPhone has a little bit more info, but if we go to the install Zello at Work on Android, I'll go through that one with you guys, and then you'll probably be able to figure out how to do the rest of them. Basically, there are two different applications out there for Zello, and one is the consumer app and the other is the Zello at Work app. And you can get to the Zello Work application from the consumer or just download the Zello Work directly. So to do it directly, the instructions tell us to go to the browser on your Android and type in your network.loudtalks.net, which for our tutorial, it was tutorial.loudtalks.net. And you'll get this screen here, and then you'll click on download client, and it'll download, and you'll be able to just enter your username from this little app icon here. But if you already downloaded the consumer app, then you can just open that consumer application, and then if you already have a Zello account, you will go, oh, well, this person actually entered, this one is an example where they actually had an account in the consumer app and they entered there, and so you can go to options, accounts, add an account, and then Zello Work, and that's where you'll be able to enter your username and password. And something you can't see here is it'll ask for your network name here too. So that's how to do it. Or starting from the beginning here, you can say I already have a Zello account, and it'll take you down to here to add an account, and just make sure you always click Zello Work. And that's it. Thank you for listening.